Just ahead on CTV News.
It's expected to be a busy holiday season on the roadways this weekend. I'll give you details on when it's best to cross the Bay Bridge coming up next on CTV News.
If you're in Maryland, you want to eat like a Marylander. We'll show you how coming up.
Plus, a local teacher speaks on his impact on kids in the community. Those stories and more, CTV News starts now.
Good evening. This is CTV News for July 3rd. I'm Katara Jones.
And I'm Bryce Parker. Thanks for joining us. A fatal shooting in Forestville leaves 2 men wounded and 1 man dead. Police responded to shots fired at the 3100 block of Lakehurst Avenue at approximately 10 p.m. There, they found 3 adult males suffering from gunshot wounds and would later pronounce 20-year-old DeAndre McCall from the district dead on the scene. Police are still trying to find suspects and establish a motive in this case. A $25,000 reward is being offered to anyone with information, and they are urged to contact PGPD.
We now know the name of the male victim that died in an apartment fire in Largo yesterday. He has been identified as 40-year-old Andre King, and he was a father to 6 children. As we reported yesterday, the Prince George's Fire Department responded to a call about a fire at an apartment building just before 4 a.m. Tuesday morning. When crews arrived, they found the fire coming from a top unit and it extended to the roof. Firefighters found a female victim, Chanel Brooks, underneath the rubble. Her son, an 11-year-old, is in critical condition in the hospital. Today, officials have a strong message to residents about the importance of listening to a fire alarm.
Always take fire alarms seriously, just as we do as a fire department. You can never drop your guard. If there's a fire alarm sounding, please exit the building. And when you get out, stay out. So many of our fires in Prince George's County, so many of our fatalities occur when residents try to go back in and retrieve items or try to rescue other family members.
Meantime, fire crews canvassed the area where the fire happened yesterday and inspected residents' smoke detectors.
And we now know the name of the victim who died in a fatal shooting in Temple Hills yesterday. 30-year-old James Page of the district was found suffering from gunshot wounds early Tuesday morning. Page was pronounced dead on the scene. The shooting took place at the 6800 block of Old Branch Avenue. A $25,000 reward is being offered to anyone who has information on the case.
Are you looking for the perfect spot to watch the Independence Day fireworks? Well, Prince George's has several places where you can go. The Prince George's Stadium in Bowie will put on a fireworks show tonight after the Bowie Bay Sox take on the Richmond Flying Squirrels. Residents can head over to the Buddy Attic Park in Greenbelt tomorrow for the city's July 4th fireworks show. The popular amusement park Six Flags America will put on a fireworks extravaganza on July 4th, 5th, and 6th. Families can also go to the Bladensburg Waterfront Park on Friday, July 5th to watch the fireworks just after 9 p.m. The city of Laurel will shoot off fireworks at Laurel Lake on Saturday, July 6th, just after 9 p.m. And well, Americans are predicted to travel in huge numbers this 4th of July. CTV's Gina Partee is at Sandy Point Beach with the holiday travel update.
Well, if you're traveling by train, plane, or automobile, the railways, skyways, and highways are expected to be busier than ever. AAA expects over 70 million people will be traveling over 50 miles or more, with 60 million of those traveling by car. Now, motorists should expect heavy traffic at the Bay Bridge and along the US 50 corridor starting today through Monday, July 8th in both directions. Now, the best time to travel across the Bay Bridge this holiday period include Wednesday, today, after 10 p.m., Thursday, July 4th, before 6 a.m. and after 2 p.m., Friday, July 5th, before 9 a.m. and after 6 p.m., Saturday, July 6th, before 8 a.m. and after 6 p.m. Sunday, if you get on the road Sunday, July 7th, you want to get on the road before 10 a.m. and after 4 p.m. Monday, July 8th, before 12 p.m. and after 7 p.m. While the 4th of July is a fun summer holiday, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says it's one of the deadliest on the roadways and are urging all drivers not to drink and drive. Pack your patience, buckle up, and drive safe. Reporting from Sandy Point State Park, Gina Barty, CTV News.
Meantime, if you are hitting the roads this July 4th weekend, stay alert. Drivers can expect to see more state troopers out on the highway beginning today until next Monday, July 8th. Maryland State Police will be out looking for impaired, aggressive, and distracted drivers. Here in Prince George's, motorists can expect to see more troopers from the College Park and Forestville Barracks on Interstate 495, 70, and 695. Remember, if you plan to drink, designate a sober driver. And in other news, Senate candidate Larry Hogan pens an open letter to his opponent, Angela Alsobrooks, to disavow Maryland's recent tax and fee increases. In the letter, Hogan accuses Alsobrooks of backing the slate of increases. He went on to say, quote, "At this critical time, Marylanders deserve leaders who are willing to stand up to the party bosses to fight for them. This is what I will always do, and I hope you will join me in the fight." In response, Alsobrooks' campaign communications director, Gina Ford, says, quote, "Angela has brought record economic investment without raising taxes at the county level. In the Senate, she'll fight to reduce costs for hardworking Maryland families, all while making sure big corporations pay their fair share."
In an effort to help recruit and retain police officers, the Prince George's County Council passes a resolution to offer education incentives to officers. The resolution encourages Bowie State, the University of Maryland, and the Prince George's Community College to work together to create a pilot program for officers to receive tuition and credit benefits. The program would grant county police officers with the opportunity to continue and complete their education at those institutions.
It's going to be a big tool. I mean, as chair of Health and Human Services and Public Safety, I heard that concern from our department, from our residents. And so I actually came to Prince George's County by going to the University of Maryland, and I loved it here. And I just thought all three of our fine higher education institutions are unique. And I think it's going to be an awesome benefit as we work through different things that we can offer our police officers as a reason to stay and a reason to also join our police department.
As of May, the County Police Department says they are understaffed by more than 350 officers. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Katara Jones.
And I'm Bryce Parker. Still to come.
The Maryland Department of Agriculture has new campaign. Find out how you can participate after the break.
Always drive at a responsible speed for your surroundings. Know the boating regulatory zones, including no wake zones, which are marked by white and orange buoys. That means keep it under 5 miles per hour. As a captain, you need to ensure that you're respecting other boaters. Always follow the navigation rules, such as red right return, be courteous with your wake, and never anchor in the channel.
Welcome back. A hit-and-run crash in Charles County Sunday leaves a police officer injured as a corrections officer collided with 2 police vehicles. The woman on your screen is 31-year-old Latanya Lee, who worked as a corrections officer in Prince George's County. Police responded to a report of a hit-and-run in Waldorf, and when they tried to reach Lee, she fled the scene. She then crashed into 2 police vehicles before fleeing again. Lee would later be picked up by police on Billingsley Road and has been charged with multiple offenses, including driving while impaired.
A state agency tasked with investigating and prosecuting public officers violated a state procurement law when it purchased a case management system. According to Maryland Matters, the Office of State Prosecutor failed to use a competitive bid process when it spent $131,000 on the equipment between 2020 and 2023. Auditors also noted that the agency did not obtain the required approvals for the purchase as required by state law. The agency has acknowledged concerns and says it will work to adopt the auditor's recommendations.
The Maryland Office of the Comptroller has updated its sales tax report on adult use of cannabis for the state's central and capital regions. The numbers come from a quarterly report between January and March 2024. The capital region collected just over $3.7 million in sales tax revenue, while the central region collected just over $6.7 million. The revenue collected across the state will be allocated across 4 different funds that will help impact different communities in Maryland.
Just in time for the 4th of July holiday, the Maryland Department of Agriculture is launching a new campaign. It's called Eat Like a Marylander. Byron Scott has our story.
Franklin's Restaurant in Hyattsville is one of dozens of Maryland eateries taking part in the state's Eat Like a Marylander campaign. Now, for the record, the campaign is not at all corny, and as a slogan, Eat Like a Marylander is definitely hard to beat. So what is Eat Like a Marylander? We asked Matthew Scales.
I think when people think of Maryland, they think of crabs. They think of seafood and oysters, but also we have local products like beef, our farms here providing fresh produce.
Eat Like a Marylander means eating at restaurants, frequenting retailers and farmers markets, featuring goods grown right here in Maryland and seafood sourced from its waters.
You have your watermelon, your corn, your peaches, and that's for the summertime. Strawberries would be in the spring, and then apples in the fall. You have your beef, so Rosetta beef, which is actually one of the things that Franklin's restaurant, where we here are today, they use Rosetta beef for their burgers.
We're big on everything local, from local art to local food to local suppliers. We try to be as local as we can.
Summertime. It's a time for indulging, sharing, sitting around with those you care about while enjoying.
The campaign will feature video spots singing the praises of Maryland produce and seafood.
We have a new commercial that we just recently launched as well that's going to be played in movie theaters. So when you go to the movies, before the previews start, you'll be able to see the commercial that's airing. We're also doing some digital and programmatic marketing. And also we're doing some ads on some radio stations and some Spanish radio stations.
The campaign also features a website.
You click there and you can see those farms that are taking part, the breweries. We have our Maryland's Best Ice Cream Trail, so there's ice cream. It's literally cow to cone.
It's just a question of figuring out how to be sustainable.
Part of that sustainability means tapping into those things which grow the economy statewide and in our backyard.
We're just a classic, good quality, local, we know everybody's names kind of restaurant.
For all you need to know about Eat Like a Marylander,
head to marylandsbest.net to find
Byron Scott, CTV News.
And farm.
It's Wednesday, and you know what that means. It's time for our Pet of the Week. Meet Spade. He's a 1-year-old black and white Serbian Husky.
Yes, and he's been at the shelter since June. Animal management says Spade is very playful.
Wants to be in your lap, he wants to be in your face, but he is still a baby, so he is still teething, so biting on everything. But very happy dog, wants to be around everybody all the time and just wants to jump and play around. So definitely a family that has kids that are able to train him and get him where he needs to be, and he'll be all happy.
And is a Spade the cutest? And if you would like to adopt Spade or any of his furry friends, call Animal Management at 301-780-7200. And still to come on CTV News.
We're joined by a Prince George's County native who is making a difference in children's lives here and beyond. Find out how after the break.
Healthy wetlands lead to healthy communities. And Ducks Unlimited is the world's leader in wetlands conservation. Wetlands are one of the most productive ecosystems on the planet and support the life cycle needs of 40% of all plant and animal species by providing food and habitat. But Ducks Unlimited's wetland conservation work also benefits you in so many ways. Wetlands improve water quality by trapping sediments, filtering pollutants, and replenishing aquifers, so you can enjoy clean water. Wetlands also act like sponges that store and slowly release floodwaters to protect you from flooding and to reduce coastal erosion. Wetlands regulate, capture, and store greenhouse gases to help stabilize climate conditions and strengthen our ecosystems. And wetlands provide recreational opportunities, so you can enjoy outdoor activities like hunting, fishing, birdwatching, hiking, and kayaking. Learn more at ducks.org.
My dad is definitely my hero. He saved a lot of people.
What I love about serving my country is putting this uniform on every single day.
This uniform reflects my solemn duty to protect America's freedoms, but that has meant giving up a lot at home. While I'm away fighting for my country, my family is left behind to fight loneliness, school and job changes, and tight budgets.
For over 160 years, the Armed Services YMCA has made it our duty to protect our service members and their families who have already sacrificed so much. We make sure military families have support, emergency help, food, and much more.
The Armed Services YMCA has helped me and my family through a lot of tough times. They've changed my life. Today I'm a better husband, father, and soldier.
Their duty is to our country. Our duty is to make sure no military family is left behind. Learn more at asymca.org.
Welcome back. Well, today we're joined by a local educator who has made his personal mission to inspire, empower, and connect with the youth. Born here in Prince George's and now teaching in the district, Pther wears many hats.
Yes, from philanthropist to host, DJ, and rapper, he has now dropped his second album, Moving Mr. Pther Volume 2, with some taste of some DMV beats. Mr. Pther, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
So I heard you started as a career in comedy. How did you transition to teaching?
Wow. So I originally, I'm from here, so I grew up here in PG County, Glenard and went to Flowers. I moved to Atlanta after college to kind of pursue comedy. And as I was doing that and doing stand-up, I knew somebody that taught. I needed the job, and I thought I was just going to try it out to come sub. And I mean, that was 10 years ago, and 10 years later, I'm really deep in education. So it was a great move for me. So I started out. I mean, I still was able to do comedy in Atlanta. I knew somebody. I thought I was going to be a substitute teacher, and here I am.
And can you talk a little bit about your connection with your students? For
sure. I mean, I treat my students as if they're like I don't have any children, so I treat them as if they're my children, my brothers, my sisters, my nieces, my nephews. So. And I'm able to show up authentically myself, so they're able to be themselves. They can see me in them. Yeah, you see, we're gonna have some fun. Look at them, they turned up. So even like those things, I'm able to be myself and present myself to them, which allows them to be myself. Which allows them to be themselves and kind of trust me and be open and honest with me too.
So can you tell us a little bit about the Pther Foundation? How did you exactly get that started?
So I started the Pther Foundation. Again, it's something I started, I wanted to give back. So we started with just, I knew some students that weren't able to get some gifts for Christmas. We started with 5 gifts. 1 year, it grew to wanted to do for a whole class, and then grew to wanted to do for a whole school. And it was just a lot of work, so I established a foundation to be able to try to get grants for it, to try to be able to make sure I build a team and build supporters and build staff that can help. And that's kind of how it grew. So it just grew from something that we were doing just strictly from the heart, and as more people were impacted and more people wanted to help, we kind of had to make it like a real thing. So that's how the nonprofit came about.
That's amazing. And your foundation also went to Africa.
Yes, we did.
Can you talk about where in Africa you went to and what that experience was like?
Amazing experience. We were able to partner with an organization called Tumani DC. And what we did, we went out there, we was able to do some programming as far as bring some of the things that we were doing here in the schools. We did a workout session with them. I was able to do a lot of my songs with them and some of our purposeful programming. An amazing experience. We were in Ghana. We were there for 6 days. Just something it'll really humble you. It'll really like just give you an outlook on what people have and what people don't have. I mean, they were happy with, again, like if you look at their walls, they don't have chalkboards and smart boards like everybody else had. They have a clay wall. And may find something to write in it, may find something to be able to kind of get the information out. So very humbling experience, but yeah, I can't wait to do it again and go back. Made a lot of connection with those kids there.
That's amazing. Yep. But let's get back into this album. So can you please tell me, what can we expect from this album? What inspired you to drop this part 2?
Listen, you know, I think for me, being an educator and being in the classroom, I think I've seen a lot of times where, you know, teachers will put on YouTube and we would have to go find different things, whether it's a movement break or some just portions to be able to kill some time, and everything we were putting on just didn't look like the students that I serve. It didn't look like me. Quite frankly, the rapper just didn't rap good. You know, so when I think about how my students learn and how I'm able to connect with them, music is one thing that we all have in common. You know, we like the same beats, we like the same music. So why not take some of those beats and put some opposites to them, have them work out, teach them their letter sounds, teach them how to rhyme. Teach those basic components that the kids are getting at that early childhood level. So that's kind of what it was. I mean, me, my partner, Asia, and we got a guy, Dante, he owns a studio in PG County in Hyattsville. It's literally us three. We go to the studio, book some time, and we create. We're able to get the kids involved. They help, I get some students to come in and come on the tracks, but it's lit. It's a great album, it's lit, it's a bop, and I make it for the parents too. You can listen to it in your car. I make it so the parents don't gotta get too tired of it, so they can be okay with it too.
But you're also combining go-go beats with children's songs. Talk about what made you decide to combine those, because go-go is huge in this area.
You know that, and that's why. I mean, we had a lot of success with our first album. So the first album did 600,000 streams, which is huge. So I know I look at where the album goes, and they went all around the world. So why not, bring some DC culture, some Maryland culture, that DMV culture. Why not bring that to the world and show them that? And again, it's in us. I can't help but I know go-go. If it was to come on right now, we couldn't help ourselves. All professionalism will go out the window. We couldn't help it. So I kind of just wanted to show the same things and let the kids party and let the kids bounce, and still, we getting a good workout out the deal too. So it was we had a great time shooting the video. We had a great time making the song. So it was great. Families came out. It was a good time.
And lastly, how do we find you? How do we find your music? How do we get in contact with the Pther Foundation?
Mr. Pther. You can put that on your social media platforms. You can look up Mr. Pther, your Apple, your Spotify, your Tidal, and the PrayTheFoundation.org. That's the name of our foundation. That's where all our information is, the PrayTheFoundation.org. And have everything you need. And yeah, man, we got some big things coming up, going some camps in the summer. But thank you all for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it.
For sure.
And you can listen to Move with Mr. Pther Volume 2 now on all streaming platforms.
And for more information on the Pther Foundation and how you can get involved, visit the website on your screen.
And don't go anywhere after the break. Simon Buggs is here with our Wednesday sports page.
That's right, and he's talking basketball from DeMatha to the All-Star game that's in a couple weeks. Stay tuned.
Hey, I'm Trent Garrett. I'm a parent, and I played well on TV. As parents, we tend to react most when we catch kids misbehaving. But research shows that if we change that focus and praise kids 4 times for every time we correct them, their behaviors and your relationship will get better.
When Mom and Dad say I'm special, it makes me feel cool.
To know that they're behind me to support me, I think that really helps my confidence.
Whenever they say I love you, it makes me feel good.
Yeah, when they say I did something well, it makes me want to do it again.
It makes me feel happy and want to say something back to her nice.
It made me really happy, and it made me feel positive about myself.
To make their children feel like they belong.
So catch them being good and visit parenting.org from Boys Town for more great ways to teach love with praise at home and in the classroom.
Wounded Warrior Project empowers post 9/11 veterans and their families with life-changing programs and services.
They came to see me in the hospital, and they've been a constant in my life ever since.
We help warriors get the expert care to adjust back to civilian life.
I got the mental health support I needed to face my PTSD, and now I'm a much better husband and father because of it.
Together with a community of supporters, we make sure no warrior has to face their challenges alone.
I found adaptive sports and made connections. Now I know I can do anything I put my mind to.
Our hands-on programs, community support, and ongoing advocacy help veterans realize what's possible.
I realized it shows strength to ask for help.
I realized new therapies could work for me.
I realized a new purpose, helping other warriors.
And now I know anything is possible.
Learn more at woundedwarriorproject.org/together.
Okay, everybody, are you ready? Because it's time for your midweek sports page. We begin with some exciting highlights from the world of high school basketball. It was an exciting time last night as fans gathered at DeMatha High School to watch the boys basketball team match up against John Carroll in the semifinal round of the Capital Hoops Summer League playoffs. Starting with the first half, the Stags started the game off well as plays like this made tray ball from guard Cade Sebastian and this forced turnover by the Stags that resulted in a layup for Jacob Wallace helped them jump out to a 11-3 lead over the Patriots. The Stags' lead eventually grew to double digits as more nice two-way play from the Stags, like this contest on a jumper by wing Caden Winton, that eventually led to an and-one shot for forward Danny Abbas. This steal from Cole Bowser that led to a nice finish inside from forward Derek Daniels, and Daniels getting into his Dikembe Mutombo bag with this block, combined with guard Ashton Meek scoring in bunches as he had 28 points in the game, had DeMatha leading 51-31 at the end of the first half. Moving on to the second half, the Stags were able to maintain their lead and advance to the championship game, beating John Carroll 87-71. I caught up with head coach Mike Jones after the matchup, and he revealed to me what the game plan he and his team had that helped them come out on top.
We knew that John Carroll was going to be super physical, so we wanted to make sure that we had great ball movement, body movement, make the extra pass. We had in the first half we had 10 assists, which is really good. From a defensive standpoint, we wanted to get up in them. We knew they had two really good players, so we wanted to cause a little havoc and then contain, contest, and block out.
DeMatha will face off against Bullis High School in the championship game tonight. Meantime, the WNBA All-Star Game is only a couple of weeks away, and a player from right here in the DMV has been selected to play in it. Congratulations to Baltimore native and Chicago Sky forward Angel Reese for being named an All-Star in just her first season in the league. The former LSU All-Star has had a good season with averages of 13 points, 12 boards, and a steal a game. And Reese spoke yesterday after she found out the news.
I'm just so happy. I know the work I put in. Coming into this league, so many people doubted me and didn't think my game would translate, and I wouldn't be the player that I was in college, or better, or would be worse, and wouldn't be where I am right now. But I trusted the process and I believed, and I'm thankful that I dropped to 7 and was able to come to Chicago. And it's just a blessing. I can't thank my teammates and my coaches enough for just believing in me and trusting me.
Reese and the rest of the All-Stars will take the court against the USA Women's National Team on July 20th. And wrapping up sports, the Bowie Bay Sox shut out the Richmond Flying Squirrels yesterday. Bowie took down their conference rival 3-0. The two teams will take the diamond again at Prince George's Stadium tonight at 6:35. And that is your Wednesday sports page.
Now let's get a look at our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight is going to be partly cloudy out there.
For Independence Day, we're looking at a high of 93 and a low of 74. However, grab those ponchos. Showers and thunderstorms are expected throughout the region. Friday and Saturday will be in the mid-90s, but those storms are sticking around, so plan ahead.
Now for a look at our community calendar. After celebrating the nation's independence, come out to the Blair Mansion on Friday to learn some Tai Chi.
Tai Chi is a traditional Chinese martial arts that combines movement and mental focus that enhances the mind, body, and spirit. This event takes place from 6:30 to 8:30. For more information, contact 301-809-3089.
And that wraps up CTV News. Thanks for joining us tonight.
We'll see you again Monday. Have a great 4th of July. Good night.